Welcome back everybody after a fairly long break of, I don't know, must be at least 2 or 3 weeks by now. Finally a nice sunny day. In fact, we had another sunny day yesterday, which didn't go according to plan. The bike had been on the Oximizer, the battery conditioner that I'm sure a fair few of you will be using over the winter especially. Keep it in good condition. And as soon as I hit the start switch, all I could hear was the relay or the solenoid. Absolutely no turnover of the engine whatsoever. Battery voltage was good at over 13 volts, although that doesn't necessarily mean very much. And I tried another sealed gel battery that I had. Nowhere near the same kind of peak current output though, and that wasn't doing anything either. So we called the RAC out. Not terribly easy, it has to be said. It's directed to an app, put on all your details. Despite the fact we have a confirmation that all the relevant vehicles are on that policy, it kept claiming that I wasn't on that policy, and moreover that my bike wasn't a Versys 1000 but some kind of 1400cc monstrosity. But anyway, cut a long story short, thanks to my wife hanging on the phone for about 20 minutes, finally got through and got an appointment for this morning. Turned up nice and early, thankfully, and gave the starter motor a bit of a tap, but turned out it was just the battery anyway. So must be a dead cell in there somewhere. Quite surprising. The bike's only about, well, not quite 2 years old, so not very good. And I suspect from past experience with the Oximizer connector, which comes as standard with a bike, that it hadn't actually been connected to the battery at all. The argument against that is that it did have a good high voltage, but the connector that comes at standard, which is obviously designed so that you go out and buy an Oximizer, which I did, is really very poor. It's not really designed for outdoor use, and it has this terrible problem that the pins, which are very lightweight, get pushed back into the housing, or the housing slips over the pins, whichever way you look at it. So when you try and insert the Oximizer plug, the socket pins push back, and they can either not make a connection, or, as I've seen once, blow the fuse because they cause a dead short. That's really, really poor. So I knew something would happen with it. I've had one blown fuse, and so I thought, well, I'm going to have to change the wiring. So of course, being winter, I didn't bother, so I was going to leave that till the spring. But I've just ordered some new ones off eBay. They don't necessarily have a sort of weather sealing cap over them, but you know, the pins are recessed well into the body, so tucked away into the frame. They'll be fine, and I don't go out much in rainy weather in any case, so it's not a commuting bike as such. So I hope that'll resolve matters. If not, then I'll have to resort to something temporary again until I find the right connectors, which at the moment consists of just simply connecting the charger to the battery with the seat off. So, you know, different ways of getting Will to his bed, as we say in Welsh. So that was a bit of a drama. New bike, new battery, 12 volts. What is it? Oh, I can't remember now. Not very high capacity, about 13 amp hour I think, but it has got a very high peak charging current of about 135 amps, I think, which is enormous really when you think about it. That was 50 quid from Halfords. I mean, I could have got it about 5 quid cheaper with delivery online, but yeah, Halfords had it in stock, no problem at all. So within half an hour of ordering it online, it was installed in the bike. Battery rattles around a bit, I found. It's not a very good. It's got a plastic housing with a gap of about, I don't know, maybe 4mm all the way around. So I put some foam padding in there to stop it rattling around. It's not causing any problem, but you know, it's not good to have it rattling at all. So here we are, we're on the first trip out, just about to come onto the Britannia Bridge. Still a little bit of salt on the road, but it's fairly dry, and I thought, well, it's been so long since I've been out, I really can't pass off a sunny day again. It really threw me yesterday. I have to say a quick hello to my son at Liverpool University, or John Moores University. Busy with exams this week, I think he's finished now. And also my daughter, who's also been doing some exams. And they seem to enjoy watching these videos, though they can be a bit dull, it has to be said, but we try and update you with some news, what's been going on. So where are we going to go? Well, I don't know really. The snow, first of all, has gone off the mountains at a very, very rapid melt. I've probably never seen such a rapid melt in all my days of living here. Fairly thick covering of snow just about 3 days ago, and it vanished overnight. So the rivers must have been quite swollen for the past few days. So that was good. I managed to get out in the early days of the snow. There wasn't much of a covering, it was very high. Got up to the Gwynedd, the ice fractured rock up there, Castle of the Winds, Castell y Gwynedd. I'm sure many of you will know that and have been there, so that was quite pleasant. Bit of a long yomp, as they say, but yeah, good exercise, which you kind of need at my age. The other news is, of course, that Holyhead, the port of Holyhead, has been out of action because during the last big storm, ship, well, a couple of ships, as I understand it, collided with the docking system there and destroyed part of it. The tide's very high, actually, just going out now, just looking over at the old fish trap in the middle of the Menai Strait there. Its days are numbered. Yeah, I think it does actually flood part of that property from time to time. So yeah, they've been repairing that for the past 3 or 4 weeks, I suppose. And so we've seen a fairly significant drop off in traffic, but it was partly reopened yesterday, and I heard on the old airwaves that the ferries were running again this morning. So we'll soon see the Britannia Bridge start to stack up with traffic again. Around about lunchtime, as it now does every day. So that's a bit of a catch up on the recent week's events whilst the bike's been in the garage. A fairly lengthy period of about a week or more of cold weather, of course, which is probably what undermined my battery in the end. Never had any problems at all. It was instant fire up the last time I used it. A fairly lengthy journey, but there you go, these things happen. And hopefully we don't have any problem with the charging circuit on the bike, so well, we'll soon work that out, I suppose, over the coming days. The next piece of kit for the garage is going to have to be a booster, just in case we need to do that. Handy way to check at least that the rest of the system is working. What else has been happening? Not an awful lot. fairly quiet on the search and rescue scene, which we kind of hooked into through our association with Carnarvon Airport. Not an awful lot going on, a few missions out into the mountains here and a couple out into Cumbria. Nothing tragic, I don't believe, so that's all good. Lifeboats going about the daily business in exercises, their weekly exercises. And we had a fairly quiet sort of Christmas. I hope yours was pretty good. Caught up with the family who are back home from university, various birthdays and so on. And yeah, so quite pleasant. Days beginning to extend nicely now. The sun's beginning to move south at a fairly fast rate of knots. It's the time of year when we're closest to the sun, through Kepler's third law, isn't it? In our slightly elliptical orbit around the sun, it means that we're making progress in that orbit around the sun faster than at other times of the year. So nice to see the days lengthening again. I guess they must be about getting up for an hour or so longer than they were at midwinter, which is not that long ago. So it's all looking up. Look forward to another season of, if not entirely dry, which is always too much to hope for in Britain, then at least reasonably warm weather for doing a bit of biking. The RAC guy who came out to me this morning, very pleasant young man, who's a KTM rider, likes doing his dirt biking. So he knew what he was doing, which is always reassuring, and so we had a nice conversation out there this morning, rather cold though it was. And yeah, he's like a lot of KTM owners, was affected in some way by the deficiencies in the components. I can't remember, was it the rocket followers? I can't remember now what it was, but yeah, KTM apparently have admitted that there's a manufacturing deficiency, so but unless there was an obvious symptom, I expected £600 to be parted with in order to undergo an investigation. So if there was nothing wrong with it, well, that was your £600 down the Swanee, as it were. So he'd been caught up by that and decided he didn't want to pay part with £600, and that he'd take his chances, and there were no symptoms. So there we are. But it's yeah, a bit of a disappointment, because I had been always keeping an eye on the KTM bikes. Hopefully they'll learn from the experience and not have such a thing happen again. Bit of a disaster really from a reputational point of view. But there we are. So I'll let the camera run until a few bikes out, that's good. Let the camera run until I get up the hill here, and then join me again wherever I end up. Could be Carnarvon Airport, it could not be. That's the beauty of the bike. We go where we feel like it, following the portals to the alternative universes as they open up in front of us. Get posted. There you go. quick check back that the yellow thing behind me wasn't actually a speeding man, but it wasn't, and I wasn't speeding anyway, obviously. There we are, and just at the top of the hill here, nice lovely view of the mountains. Look at that, not a cloud in the sky. Bit of weather trying to slowly make its way in from the west, but for today, it's great. There we go. Yeah, the decision was, not entirely unpredictably, to go to Gwynedd Airport for a bit of a social visit. Never know who'll turn up on a nice sunny day. Pretty quiet recently because of we had a bit of fog actually. Sort of drizzle, so not an awful lot been happening. So another quick cup of what for some completely unfathomable reason has become known as a cheesy choc drink. It's actually creamy choc, but hey, you know, goes with the cheesy cracker theme that is the label for this bike. It became known as the Cheesy Quacker because it's a Kawasaki quacker, and because, well, we kind of like cheese. So there you go. The world according to the somewhat autistic in life. What the hell's going on here now? Okay, escort vehicle, wide load. So that'll be a caravan. Not exactly the kind of excitement we like, but and there we go, look at that folks, seaside, just a few minutes away from home. It's great, isn't it? Everybody's getting their dose of sunshine today. You can see it from the intensity of the sun that the year's advancing. It's all great news. Airport not so busy, bit of a wind from, where are we, the south. Pretty much due south today actually. The runway is 0220. Their ambulance is in. Always wave at the kids. Nobody waves at kids anymore, only the bicyclists and the motor bicyclists. There we go. Here we are. Regular watchers will know. Oh, gate's closed. Right, going to the other end, we'll know this is Gwynedd Airport. Search and rescue hangar in front of us there. 2 SR62s. That function. Travel far and wide. Isle of Man, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, sometimes I think. Yeah, quite a wide. I don't know what I'm doing here to be honest. Oh yes, of course the gate was closed. So normally I come in through the other gates and park in my special parking space for motorcycles, which is here. In the full sunshine, obviously. I left the camera on inadvertently whilst I was having a chat in the Gwynedd Airport, so not much left on the battery and the card, so thanks for tuning in on this one. Make the most of what we've got left. Gloriously sunny day, even if there is quite a lot of salt down. We're down to around about 5-6 Celsius. Climbing up into the hills here by Flaena Festiniog. Really is feeling like an early spring day, even though we're sort of technically in winter, but what a label day. You make the most of what you're given, so enjoy the scenery whilst the battery still got you. See you in the next one, because I'm going in for a sandwich and a drink. The old zigzags going up the slate tips there up to Oakley Quarry. Just beginning to give hints of sunset not being too far away, so we'll get ourselves a sandwich and make our way home. Here we are, the world famous Gwynedd Festiniog. What's this place in Wales, if not anywhere at all? Very wet usually, but gloriously sunny today. God's own country on a sunny day. Which also mercifully has a co-op we can get some food from. There you go, some bonus footage of climbing the Crimea, as it's known in English. Kind of highlighting to us all that the Crimea has been at the centre of disputes for a very long time. How about that for a sunny day? Leaving all our cares behind. There we go. Nice pork sausage roll. And enough blood sugar to get us home. There you go. How about that? Look, a little bit of snow left. As they keep saying, life is now. Don't worry about the miles on the bike, just keep adding to them. You'll find the money for a new one from somewhere, as I will, if not very easily. There you go. Thanks for joining in. Take it easy. Yes folks, even more bonus footage as we make our way through the Gwynedd Valley and back home before sunset. Just hitting 4 o'clock now, sun's still way up. The days really are getting longer. What a very nice day out that has been. Excellent. I hope you're managing to get some days out as well. And if those days are past you, well, I hope you've enjoyed watching somebody who's still doing it. We never know how much longer it will be, do we? So there we go. Make the most of every day. Believe it or not, it's actually warmer up here. There's a bit of an inversion. No, I don't want to overtake. You just keep on going. That's the idea. There we go. Encourage people to overtake on a blind corner. We could have gone, but no, I'm not interested. Yeah, 8 degrees up here, which is about 2 degrees or 3 degrees warmer than down at the bottom of the valley, which I suppose isn't that surprising. You can actually feel it as well. That's quite a pleasant surprise. So there you go folks, round this corner, that'll be it. Got a couple of bonus footage clips in there for you. Hope you enjoyed it.